how the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has fared in terms of delivery of democratic dividends. I have someone with me who will be doing justice to this, and of course you remember that my name is Dayo Omoogun, and this edition I have with me in the studio the MD of the Progressive Media. His name is Idris Jibril. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dayo. Good afternoon, viewers.
All right, so he is a member of the APC House from all indication. He's the managing director of the Progressive Media. He will be telling us in a moment what actually the Progressive Media is about. But then, first of all, you'll agree with me that world over, the belief is that democracy is one of the best forms of government that ensures that the people are taken very good care of. I mean, with democracy, government is supposed to see to the welfare of the people and to ensure that there is security of lives and property. These are the most basic functions of government. And the question is whether this is obtainable in the Nigeria of today. Is the welfare of the average citizen taken care of? Is security of lives and property in place? Or are we living life like the era of Thomas Hobbes, when life was short, life was brutish, life was a survival of the fittest? That's what we intend to talk about, and I'll be going straight away to my guest to ask him, first of all, what is the Progressive Media all about?
Okay, the Progressive Media came up as a child of necessity. Basically, upon the formation of APC in 2013 as an opposition party, and when they became the government in power 2015. There are some background stories that happened within the APC campaign organization. Some of the stories were not actually told by the media the way it should be told. So this Progressive Media came about to tell the stories the way they actually occur, to project the APC and the Progressive family in the positive light that it should actually be. We don't want to leave this narrative to the public or to the general media. We want to fashion this narrative accurately to portray the truth, transparency at it should actually be, to showcase government initiative and the gains that the government of the day is making, and also some of the programs they are doing to better the lots of Nigerians. Thank you.
All right, so you know, for me and for some people, you must come to terms with the fact that truth seems to have several versions. So if you say that's the way it was, I mean, your media group came as a result of the need to present the facts as they were. Well, that depends on you, because what you're doing is you're presenting the stories based on your own narrative, based on your own angle, based on your own prism. The same matter will be reported by some other media, which might even be more objective than yours, don't you think?
Of course, Mr. Dayo. You see, it's like the 9 blind men that went to see an elephant.
Right.
Everybody had a view of the truth of what the elephant is.
A feel.
Yeah, feel, yes. Right. Somebody would touch the tail, felt he's touching a rope. Somebody would touch the trunk, felt otherwise.
Yes.
You understand? So these are basically the various prism of the truth. But if as an insider you tell the story, you're going to tell it differently from somebody who will actually look at it from outside and tell the story. And probably there could be some bias coming from outside. So you as an insider...
Which also applies to... That's the point I'm making.
Yes.
There could also be a bias coming from the inside because you don't want to be presented badly. You don't want to be seen in bad light.
Of course. And no any other person is more qualified to tell your story than yourself.
In spite of the biases.
Nobody can tell the story of you, Mr. Dayo, more than yourself.
In spite of whatever slant.
Whatever slant you see, that will depend on your own transparency to tell the slant as it is, to project it truthfully and respect the people you are projecting this truth to.
Sure.
So this
That's
is
very
what,
key. If
yes.
you actually do respect the people you are presenting the information to, then you would not want to modify it so much that it loses itself. So okay, I mean, I guess that's enough from talking about the group, the progressive media. Now let's talk about governance in Nigeria today, and of course that will be coming from your prism, almost the prism of the party, of the APC, the party in power. Now, so is government really meeting up the expectation of the people as of today?
Well, the question you just asked may be like a double-edged sword for me. You're talking about expectation of the people.
Yes.
Then there's expectation of the people, there's a reality on the ground.
Sure.
The people may over-expect or assume so much for the government to do for them. Whereas the reality on the ground, the government could be handicapped to do exactly what the people had expected from onset. I know currently in the country, we need to tell each other the honest truth to move forward. The situation in the country is actually not palatable for anybody, no matter the wrong of the society you find yourself today.
All right.
If you are at the upper echelon, you will know the number of people who depend on you previously have doubled or tripled. And that actually showcased the reality of what is happening in our society today. But then if you look at this more objectively and look at where we've gotten some gains here and there, you'll see that gradually there's been a little bit of a surge, or should I say inflation, which actually caused most of this problem, has actually gone down a little. The cost of food is gradually falling, and we hope with the rainy season coming and harvest and the rest, we'll turn the corner soon. The president, when these policies were made, assured us that it's going to be a tough ride. He never shy away from telling us this truth. And this ride has been tough.
Oh, great. It's good to hear it from the party.
Of course.
Yes. So now, when I asked a little while ago about the expectation of the people, that's what you're responding to. Now, will the party on its own say that it is meeting up with the promises that were made during the campaign?
Well, we're almost approaching midterm of the first term.
So that's the more reason why we need to begin to do some assessment.
We started with bold reforms, and those bold reforms happened so quickly, and other factors affected this reform. When the fuel subsidy was removed, fuel started selling at 600. With inflation and the rest, fuel went to as far as 1,000, 1,200 and the rest.
Yeah.
And gradually we're stabilizing, getting closer to 1,000 or 900 thereabouts. So with the forex, the double exchange rate and the rest, when we had one market for everything now, at first the dollar rose above 1,700. And now we're having at 1,500. We're gradually coming to a point where the economy will turn a corner. And if this economy turns a corner, it is good for everybody in the country, irrespective of where your allegiance, your party allegiance is. So things may not actually look okay now, but we're looking at the nearest future. We're looking at in a year time before the next election. And we are very, very optimistic that if we look backward from where we started from to where we will be in a year time, you'll see that we've made a lot of progress. It is not about turning the corner one day. It's about those little gains that will last longer, that will be sustainable even in previous administration. For so long, we've traded the future for the present. We've mortgaged the future of our children to have a better life for ourselves now. We pay subsidy for every imported goods in Nigeria. We pay subsidy for fuel. So how can a society or how can an economy sustain itself with that model? It's not possible. It's not feasible. But gradually now, you can see the number, the amount states are getting as FAC, as federal allocation. And you can see the project that some of the states are carrying out now. The state will boldly tell you, the governors will tell you that they have more money to execute more projects within their state. And gradually with the local government autonomy, and hopefully they start getting their allocation directly, this will trickle down to the grassroots, to those at the rural areas. And you see local government chairmen, councillors carrying out projects that will be meaningful to the people right at the villages, and there wouldn't be that migration from rural to urban areas. Because if I'm a farmer and I know my business basically is at the rural area, I don't have any business abandoning my farm to run to the city to look for a brown collar job.
That's when you have security in place. Now, let me quickly talk about this. Because you see, it's very easy for us to get tempted to jump into and become very excited and talking about how much the states are getting. Now, when you talk about how much states are getting, we need to also consider that the value, the purchasing power, the purchasing capacity of the money has really, really gone down. So, if you were giving somebody 1 million naira before, and he could do XYZ with it, and then you now give the person 3 million naira when that the naira has gone down by more than 50%. I don't think it's neither here nor there.
Well, this could have been worse.
Yeah, but we didn't bargain for the worst. The whole essence of bringing in a new government, the whole essence of the promise of the Emilokon or the renewed hope agenda was to make life better for us. Now, you talked about in passing, you referred to the subsidy that was removed, and whilst subsidy was removed by fiat, even in a democratic setting, we did not see such level of speed in ensuring that people got some soothing. Till now, the buses that were promised, the CNG buses, have still not been delivered. And this is like 2 years after the subsidy was removed. So let's talk about this.
I agree with you that some of the palliative measures that should have been put in place were not hurriedly put in place, and that has created that bigger vacuum for the government to fill up. Part of those palliative is what you just mentioned, like the CNG buses. Yes, even as we speak today, very few of them are plying our road for public services. But then the government has gone a step further. They are making the CNG available even to private users at subsidized rates. CNG conversion stations are available, though we may say the initial cost is huge.
Yes.
But then when you look at the value subsequently, I drive a CNG car down here. Right. I know how much I spent to fill up my cylinder, CNG, 3,000 naira for a 15 kg cylinder. And I know how much it would take me to fill up my fuel tank if I'm using fuel. So for me, the value I get for the CNG is far, far, far better if I'm to be using PMS for my car.
True. We all agree. We all agree. But we're saying that it's not accessible to a larger majority of Nigerians.
Well, yeah.
Because of the price, and because also the ones that the ordinary Nigerians should have used flying public buses, the buses are not there.
I think sometimes late last year, the president did some disbursement of CNG buses to Labour and some other organizations.
That's like scratching the surface, if you ask me.
It is scratching the surface. But then we should not forget, while the federal government is doing its own efforts, the state government should equally be doing theirs.
Sure, yes.
And then we will meet at the middle. There is no point for state government to abandon transportation entirely to the federal government. If the federal government should provide 1,000 buses, it still would not be enough to ferry people around or to convey people around to their businesses and place of work. Look at what Lagos State is doing. Lagos State has been one example for so many states to emulate. The CNG bus, the transportation system in Lagos State has been so effective. Beside the CNG buses, they have their the Blue Line and other services that they've put in place to ensure that transportation look kind of seamless. Other states can emulate the same. The FCT, the minister has done so well in providing roads and the rest, but then he equally needs to provide transportation services. It is part of his mandate to also do so. He shouldn't wait for the president to actually do all of those things by himself. So let all this governance is a synergy between the federal, the states, and the local government. If the federal government set the tones, others should follow too and do the same.
All right, okay. Now let's release you. Let's give you some relief by asking that you present to Nigerians if there are any dividends of democracy under this current dispensation. If there are, tell us about them.
No, of course, there are dividends of democracy.
Really?
Of course, despite the challenges we are facing, we can't throw away the baby and the bathwater.
And the bathwater, okay.
Of course, we have seen gains, a lot of gains. Part of this, let me talk to where the people will feel that, yes, this has been implemented to them. Yeah. Is the issue of the minimum wage. Despite the to and fro with labor, an agreement was reached. Have the government workers started receiving their minimum wage? The answer is yes.
Yes, but is that minimum wage a living wage? Is it able to really take people home?
We can argue that in some other clime. But then, since the government said we are going to review the minimum wage, and they did so, give them a credit for that. If it's enough or not enough, we can debate that some other time. But for the fact that the government has actually implemented something in that regard, you will say, yes, they fulfilled their promises, despite the to and fro with the Nigerian Labour Congress. And then let's move on to...
You do not overlook the to and fro, because it took quite a lot of dance and...
it's normal. It is politics. It is democracy. You understand? We all need to agree to disagree, agreeably. And then when we go to the issue of security, if you've been around long enough prior to 2023, the issue of kidnapping, banditry, and the rest was actually like a daily occurrence all across the northern states.
Yeah.
But the situation has gone a little bit better as we speak today. I applied from Sokoto down to Abuja by road. I saw the security men on the road. I asked questions because I'm equally in the journalism field, so I asked questions. They said, no, the issue of kidnapping and the rest have actually reduced drastically. So for that, let's give kudos to the government for this. Because security is actually very vital to the actualization of a lot of dividends of democracy.
Sure, yes.
If we don't achieve security, a lot of other factors
cannot be achieved. Clear.
So that given, we have the issue of the school education. One of the bane of education for most parents from the most indigent students has been the cost of education, particularly tertiary education in Nigeria. The president promised to have an educational fund for the children, for the students. And today we have NEL Fund, Nigeria Education Fund, they've disbursed billions of naira to students in tertiary institutions, public tertiary institutions across the country, across the 6 geopolitical zones. So that is a plus for us. We say it will never be enough because considering our numbers in this country. But then it is still a step forward. We build this nation, it is brick by brick. We don't expect the president to take the entire national budget to fund education. This thing has to be in bits and pieces here and do projects that are sustainable.
Let me ask you, because you're talking about dividends of democracy, and one very important part of democracy is the rule of law and the freedoms that come with democracy. And in this country, people protested because they were hungry. And they were hauled, including youngsters, including teenagers, were hauled into detention. And for months, it took the hue and cry of Nigerians and some international bodies before some of those people were released. How does this sound to you as an insider?
Personally, the government missed an opportunity to put its name in good light, publicly and also internationally. When this issue of some of these children arrested and minors came out, the government should have gathered these children, rehabilitate them, send them to school, give them a better life, release them free without any hue and cry from anybody. We missed that opportunity probably because there's a miscommunication here and there between the government, the security agencies, and probably the custodian of those children in prison. So the government might not know the ages of people arrested, of course.
No, but even take away the ages. I mean, is it not a right of the average citizen to protest?
It is the right of average citizen to protest. But then when your protest goes beyond
when
your
it gets
rights,
violent, yes,
when
we
it gets
understand
violent,
that.
and of course,
we
you and I have
that.
been
But
in this,
many cases,
where we witnessed the protests.
Yes.
The
last August 1 to 10.
Yes, we witnessed that protest, and we saw how it went violent in some places.
Yet, in some places where it didn't
peaceful.
get violent,
even
people
Lagos,
were still,
Lagos,
harassed.
where it was anticipated to get violent, was
it was not violent.
Peaceful.
In Abuja, it was not violent.
And people were not arrested in Lagos. But
people
go to
were
Kano,
arrested in Abuja here.
Go to Kano, where government institutions were burnt down. An entire ICT learning center belonging to NITDA, National Information Technology Development
we understand
Agency,
that, yes.
burnt down. What billions of naira burnt down. Come to Abuja, outskirts of Abuja, Nasarawa State, the border between Abuja and Nasarawa, from Nyanya to Maraba and the rest. It was violent there. Come to Wuse Market, ATMs of banks were vandalized, burnt down and boggled.
Well, in the city center here in Abuja, it was not violent, and yet I do know that some people were taken away. But okay, let's not spend too much time.
I believe the government has learned its lessons from the protests, and also they've tried to see how they can make amend when subsequently anything like that happens.
Let's take this before you go. Take this before you go. There's a signal that a lot might be happening in your party that is not too comely, if you like. One of the things that we have seen is that somebody who was part of the foundation, like El Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, stepped out and is now in SDP, and it looks like as though the groundswell of anger is increasing by the day, and there's a likelihood that several other persons, high caliber persons, are on their way out of the APC. And this might not augur well for the party. How do you read? Well,
Nasir El-Rufai was a founding member of the APC, a very prominent member who has paid his due within the progressive family. He has his weak points, but he made his grievances known before now. And I think one way or another, nobody heeded to what Nasir El-Rufai was saying. No, as humans, nobody wants to stay in a room where you don't feel welcome. So I think it is within his right to leave the APC to join whichever party he is joining. But then this is a wake-up call to APC. If we don't put our house together, if we decide to behave like the ostrich and pretend that all is well, when the roof will come crumbling on us, we wouldn't even notice it then. We are planning for an election in 2027. And when we have prominent members of the party decamping, where do we start from? We came from opposition. Yes. We knew how tough it was being an opposition to clinch power from the ruling party. And we want to go back to the opposition again? So it is in our own best interest to put our house in order. We need to put the APC back to its ideal, to its founding ideal. The objective of the party, the internal democracy in the party must be respected and must be implemented. And I think part of the cries has been that the members of the National Working Committee have not actually been on ground to administer the party.
Why is this so?
Most of them got appointment either as board chairman or in one agency or another. So they are either not in Abuja or always busy to administer the party. Go to the party secretariat, it's always empty. Nobody to even listen to you. Nobody to cry to. Nobody to even complain.
Well, maybe we're in a world of technology now where you can operate from anywhere.
You're talking about people who are in their 70s, 60s,
who are not tech compliant. They are not tech savvy.
In fact, as we speak today, APC does not have a database of all its members. There was a revalidation exercise in 2022,
exactly, some years back,
by when Malabuni caretaker committee.
Yes.
But then the data were taken in hard copy. They are there in the party secretariat, dumped aside. This data need to be digitalized so that as the chairman of the party, I can know your ward, your polling unit where you vote from, no matter where you are, just by the click of a button. But that is not the case with the APC.
I'm afraid this is all that we'll be able to do. And maybe some other time, very shortly, we can ask that you come around again and let's hear from you. Okay. By the way, it's Ramadan. Are you fasting?
Yes, I am.
All right. So what's your party doing for people who are fasting? Is there anything?
The party generally isn't doing, the party is not doing anything, but there are individuals within the party that have taken it upon themselves to do some positive, to spread love here and there. I think part of those people are Mr. Tinubu, the son of the president.
Okay.
He doesn't have to do what he's doing.
Okay.
Other presidents have come before President Bola Tinubu. Their children rather prefer to enjoy the prestige and privileges of being the son of the president, either in London or riding power bike in the city. But this is a man who took it upon himself to have a Ramadan iftar with Muslim faithfuls across the country. He went around from Sokoto to Kano to Kaduna to Maiduguri, across the length and breadth of the north and also in the south generally.
Whatever it is, he's still the cynosure of ICE, so he's still
well, he holds no official position. He's doing that in his capacity as Mr. Tinubu, not as son of the president. That is not an official office.
But you can't dissemble that. You can't, whether or not whether or not he's presented that way, he's still the son of the president.
He is the son of the president, but there is no office.
Right.
There is no official office or budgetary allocation to being the son of the president.
He's doing that from his pocket.
From his own pocket.
Right. That's commendable, though.
Yes.
Because we need to go. And we look forward to having you some other time very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been Idris Jibril, the managing director of the Progressive Media. And he's been shedding some light on some of the things that the government under Tinubu has been doing. Clearly, he's been upfront. He's been quite honest about some of the weaknesses, some of the things that were not done right. For example, talking about how the protests were handled and all that. I think that if you have people who are this forthright, then we have a future that looks good. And so once again, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And this is where we take a break. And after this break, my other guests will come in and will make progress on the discourse this edition.
In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching you live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning. The Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on Startimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTANTV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is the reason why I will not do it.
I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTANTV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in affluence. 5% are young people. We propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
What we found is that this general has not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
We imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in affluence. 5% are young people. We propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
What we found is that this general has not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News.
When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging. We know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500.
Monday to Friday
at 8 p.m. live You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us.
Information is vital to every individual. A platform where technology is a medium to pass information. You can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching you live from the Abuja studios.
On the punch for this morning, the Blueprint newspaper Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on Startimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it. I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best civil station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best civil station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheila.
You are welcome back to the Polity, and it's still coming to you from the Abuja studio of KAFTAN TV. My name remains Dayo Omoogun, and on this segment of the show, we will be talking about the rivers crisis that has deepened in the last few days. It's not getting any better. It looks like it's getting worse by every passing day, and we have a situation now where the House of Assembly has sent a notice of gross misconduct to the governor and his deputy. And so it's a tough one, if you ask me. And so we will be looking at this. My two guests, but one is here already, and he's the online editor of the leadership newspapers, and he's a very articulate public affairs analyst. You watched him before, and he is someone worth listening to because he does this research. And this is my opportunity to make welcome
it's my pleasure to be here.
Gbadebo. You're welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
Right.
Thank you.
Good to have you every single time. Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you for the support. Thank you for being there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so quickly, now let's look at the crisis in Rivers. It's not going away. It looks like it's getting worse by every passing day. And right now, we have gotten to the point where the House of Assembly has sent a notice of gross misconduct, which is the pathway to impeachment to the governor and his deputy. How do you see this situation?
Well, I don't think the issue is new to us.
Yes,
we've seen this in some states previously.
Right.
Remember when the late Gbadebo was around? He had similar back and forth with the former governor Rashid Ladoja. That is in Oyo State. You've also seen similar thing, though in different dimensions, but similar things
and different different circumstances.
Exactly. In Anambra, when the then governor Dr. Chris Ngige, before his eventual removal by the court, that he did not win the election. Then the court replaced him with Peter Obi. But before then, there was a melodrama.
Exactly.
When the whole governor was locked up in a toilet in an attempt to also, take him out of the way. Many instances abound, Just recently in Lagos, where President Tinubu hails from, you saw what happened in the House of Assembly. A speaker was removed in absentia, and days later he said he will be back. And actually, he staged a comeback. And as we speak, they are still in the court to sort out, certain issues. But then, you ask, or you started with a very, very salient statement that the issue in Rivers is not going. And the question we're asking ourselves is, why is it not going? Is it part of democracy? Yes. No. But why is it not going? It's not going because of our culture of impunity. And what's the culture of impunity? When you deviate from the law of the land.
When the rule of law doesn't
and you
matter.
damn the consequences, that nothing will happen. And nothing will actually happen to you. So the totality of that conduct is the culture of impunity. And that has been the problem with Nigeria, whether at the national level or at the subnationals. Culture of impunity. Now, talking about Rivers, it will be unnecessary to even talk about how the current governor, Siminalayi Fubara, emerged. So we forget about that. How he emerged, we forget about that. Election took place. He won the election. He was declared winner of the election. And after the election, I believe certain dissatisfied contestants took him to court. And they exhausted all the processes. And at the end of the day, he was also returned or affirmed elected by the judiciary. So that says he is duly elected as the governor. So what are the issues? His former godfather, who is currently the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, is having issues with him. It has been his words against that of Wike. Oh, Wike want to dominate the affair of the state. But Wike say no. He's only calling for due process. And you ask yourself, what is missing? What is due process at the same time?
Who's defining due process?
Exactly. But fast forward to the present circumstance. The 27 members of the House of Assembly, like you said 2 days ago, sent a notice of impeachment to the governor. It's provided for in the Constitution. But what is gross misconduct? I have not had the time to actually go through the offenses. I saw some newspaper reports saying 19 sins of Fubara, 19 offenses or whatever. But I've seen one that the governor refusal to present the 2025 budget of the state to the State House of Assembly as provided for by the Constitution. that refusal constitute gross misconduct. And I ask myself, is the governor not interested in presenting the budget? Given what I've read in the media, that he sent letter twice, please, I'm picking March 19 to come and present budget, or any other day within the month of March. And we saw what happened last week. He was coming from a function, a branch, whether to present the budget or to say hi to them.
So at least, yeah.
I don't know. But the gate of the facility was locked against the governor, the chief security officer of the state. I was asking myself, budget or no budget, is the governor not at liberty at any time to visit the state of our assembly?
Well,
to say hello. You know, like the Yoruba will say, I'm sorry, I don't know how to tell our viewers, Ijalode, Lorido, you know,
okay.
These things are neither here nor there. It's sheer mischief. There is no gross misconduct anywhere. And I believe these members of the State House of Assembly believe they can actually get this thing done. It's not as easy as they are thinking. Now you've compiled what you believe to be impeachable offenses. Good. The governor has seen them. The same constitution provides that the governor must be allowed to defend himself.
Sure, yeah.
You send this notice to the chief judge of the state to constitute a 7-member panel. These are provisions of the constitution to investigate the allegations. I don't know if they have done that or not. After the investigation, the panel has the latitude of
14 days.
No, about 3 months.
Oh.
3 months also. 90 days. No, that's 3 months. Yes, that's 3 months.
That's 3 months.
Yes.
That's 3 months.
To investigate.
To
investigate the allegations. After which it will turn over its report to the State House of Assembly for consideration. And a decision will be taken. The Constitution said if he is found guilty and the House of Assembly also ratify the same report, the governor stand removed instantly at that point. In this case, everything has been politically motivated. And why I spoke about culture of impunity, I was just trying to give you a background. Now, why I spoke about culture of impunity have an issue is because the gladiators are lawbreakers. Remember at the initial stage, President Tinubu himself convened a meeting at the Aso Rock.
Sure, yes.
And there were resolutions. All these people involved appended their signatures. But then, it appears the president is taking side. And he's an interested party, you know. I don't know if you know, he's an interested party.
Clearly.
He has a minister on one part of the wall.
Yes.
And you know, if everything goes in favor of the minister,
then it works for him.
Ultimately,
yes,
Tinubu also gets benefit.
Yes.
So we don't know where he stands. So he's taking side. The footballer, they are thinking, oh, he's too slow. Oh, he's naive. Oh, he's politically what this. Well, I want to tell you that the man is also taking his time.
But does he have time right now? Does he have time to play with? Does he have time? Because
to defend this illegality taking place, or
to
what?
even preempt, if it was possible to preempt it from going full course. Because you see, it looks as if there are forces that are bent on destroying him.
Exactly.
Destroying his political career.
Exactly, and removing him. Now, so it depends on what he really wants. Does he want to go down like that? And I was amused too.
Is he willing to pay some price behind the scenes?
Okay, before I answer that, let me also take you back. I forgot something. I was also amused when I saw that the impeachment notice is also involved the deputy governor.
I was
for the first time in this Fourth Republic, for the first time, this is the first time we're saying this.
Yes.
All the
what are
instances,
the scenes of the deputy governor.
All the instances for I gave you, had always been about the governor. The governor.
Yes.
Now, Professor Ngozi Odu, I think that's her name, is the deputy governor. Probably they believe, oh, the deputy governor cannot just take over. It has to be us. I know what the Constitution says. In the absence of the governor
and the deputy, then the
speaker takes over as acting governor for a period of 90 days.
3 months.
3 months. Then a new election will be conducted. So I was asking myself, what are the offenses of this woman? So you can now see through
that there's a
the political, the mischief, the total mischief. They're not even doing it creatively.
They're not even, they're not following the exact.
They're not doing it creatively. They're not doing it creatively. And then this potent danger for the state is a recipe for anarchy, chaos. Life could be lost. Businesses will be destroyed. So to what end are we doing all this? Is this the ultimate, goal of democracy? Government of the people, by the people, for the people? Certainly no. So the gladiators must have rethink. And when I say the gladiators, two persons.
Two persons.
Or even three, by extension. The Minister of FCT, Yesun Wike, the Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right.
Under whose watch everything is happening. Remember, before he became the president, he was giving all manners of accolades as a Democrat. Remember the NEDECO days? He was part of the advocacy to take out the military, in the 90s. Yeah. How come under a Democrat, this lawlessness is happening?
Well, I mean, can we really call it lawlessness, especially when part of it has gone through the courts and even gone up to the apex court? For example, the judgment that has brought us to where we are right now, that says that the whatever the governor did before now was illegal, ultra vires, came from the Supreme Court.
Fine.
Now, so to that extent,
no, let's be specific. What did the governor? What did he do that the Supreme Court invalidated?
For example,
presentation of the budget,
yes,
and the local government election.
Yes.
And the government came out to say, well,
and
I'm not happy about this, but I don't have choice. I have to obey the verdict of the Supreme Court.
Sure, yes.
So all the local government chairmen elected last year have been removed.
Right.
For the budget. Okay, you that they say you are the legitimate members of the House of Assembly, despite your illegal defection to another party, and you were covered up. Okay, I recognize you as such.
You are covered up?
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't you see them? Didn't you see them waving flags of another party?
So let's take this after this breather. Just a brief, very short break, and we'll be right back.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us.
Do you want wider pay?
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
You're welcome back. It's still the Polity coming to you from KAFTAN Television. My name remains Dayo, Omoogun, and we've been talking about the crisis in Rivers State and how it's not getting better. It looks as if it's getting worse per day. And my guest was talking about some of the different angles, how it is not being done even creatively, the impeachment thing. Why would you lump the deputy governor, for example, with the governor in this matter? He was trying to raise that part. And then let's move forward a little as we ask. Let me ask, can't this impeachment process be abandoned entirely so that we find some other way of reaching peace?
Of course. That is important, and that's what they're supposed to do. But like I said from the beginning, because of culture of impunity, the gladiators are not ready to give peace a chance. They want it to be a kind of winner takes all.
This is about ego.
Yes, thank you very much. Ego. For example, if the governor and the deputy, for the first time in Nigeria, are impeached at the same time, so someone's loyalists will just take over the government. Again,
so because they're working towards a particular goal.
Does the state belong to an individual? No. We should be truthful to ourselves. I'm ashamed that this is happening at this age. We should be calling for impeachment of Fubara over lack of good governance, over insecurity, over his inability to perform as elected governor.
But is it not? I mean, in the eyes of some people, is it not bad governance that you have not been able to present the
But this is not about Rivers people. This is about a clique.
The budget.
This is about a political class in Rivers. It's not about Rivers people, majority Rivers people. If you can go to the streets of Port Harcourt now and the rest of the local government areas and take what do you call it? You sample opinion.
Yes.
I can tell you, 70% at least will tell you, no, we're not part of this. Is our elected governor. So it's about class war. It's about individuals. And it's not necessary. Now look at the security implication. Last night, story broke that there was an explosion at Trans-Niger pipeline in Bodo. You know what that means? Nigeria will lose a lot of crude oil. Our production capacity will be declined for some time until it is fixed. And you know the implication, financially, economically. Less money for us, less foreign exchange. And already there are insinuations that, it was deliberately done as a fallout of this threat to impeach the Rivers State governor. So look at the costs. It's unnecessary. It's uncalled for.
It's unnecessary. It's uncalled for. So says my guest. Gbadebo, the online editor of the leadership newspapers. Just before you go, and this is clearly because of time constraints, else there's so much to talk about. Please touch on what's going on in the PDP.
Well, I'm not a member of the PDP.
Yes, but we have a situation where the party that is supposed to champion...
Provide a viral opposition.
Yes, champion the opposition.
Actually in disarray.
Yeah, it's in so much disarray that it looks like a meltdown is going on. It looks as if the party could entirely fizzle out.
And another opposition party, the SDP, is becoming the darling for aggrieved politicians.
So what do you think... what do you think PDP should be doing?
You know, the genesis of PDP crisis too is the fallout of its electoral losses.
That's true.
Since not even 2023 election, since 2015, when former President Muhammadu Buhari defeated the then incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan. But you know,
the party has never gotten back on
and I think most of the crises are self-inflicted as a result of indiscipline of party members, and also the inability of the party leadership to wield the big stick
where necessary
at any given time. And look at what is happening today. You know, let's talk about the same Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, who is a minister in the APC government, but he claimed he remained a PDP member who want to control PDP structures in Rivers and even the South. Now, you ask yourself, does President Tinubu has a government of national unity in place? What's the answer?
Maybe it's yes. Since there's a Wike in
it's no, because the president himself said right from the beginning that he was not keen about government of national unity. He said so. So we don't have a government of national unity. And if you say we have a government of national unity, why only Wike? Out of how many political parties we have? A no government of national unity means you bring from opposition, you know,
several parties
to give peace a chance and to make sure you create a sense of belonging. So why only Wike? So Wike was only rewarded for what he did for the party in the presidential election. And then, is that in the interest of PDP? The answer is no. But then,
do you think that's a ploy? That's one of the ploys to actually
damage the PDP. Of course, they all know. Why would somebody be enjoying somewhere and he claim he belongs somewhere? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And just yesterday, he revoked over 4,000 land titles in Abuja.
Yes, you say anything
wrong? No, nothing wrong about it. Correctly.
Right.
Because they said they refused to pay for over 2 years or so.
For
many years.
There have been warnings before.
No, that is even economic sabotage, financial crime, because you are depriving government
of revenue.
Right. But then, you know what? The land housing the PDP national headquarters, the permanent headquarters, where billions of naira have been spent, is part of the affected land.
So if they have not paid, should he have bent the law for them?
I think if truly, there were notices, remember, before now, but if truly Wike is truly a PDP member, he will have drawn the attention of his party that this is what is happening. Do the right thing before the big stick will be wielded. That shows a lot of things.
We just don't have the time. I must thank you for coming, and so that we can...
I'm the Minister of Demolition. I know my father's house is affected, but there is a buffer zone. You know, there is a grace period. What am I supposed to do as a good son of my father?
Well, that has been
compare my father to do the right thing. So if I didn't do that and my father is not aware, or my father choose not to obey the law, and now I'm carrying out demolition or I'm revoking his land title, I'll now be happy that I've done the good job.
As it is, he has no choice in the matter.
Exactly. Good luck.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for all the times that
you
have been a part of this.
It's my pleasure.
And we look forward to having you very shortly again.
All right.
Thank you. After this break, we will be entering the final segment.
Say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world. We're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live
and they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready.
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500.
Monday to Friday
at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
All right, you're welcome back to the program, your program, the Polity, and this is the last segment for today. And in this segment, we will still be talking about the crisis in Rivers that has deepened in the last few days. It's not getting any better, and to the point where the House of Assembly has sent a notice of gross misconduct to the governor and the deputy governor. And as it is, these are the preparatory stages for the bigger agenda of impeachment. Now, right now, I have with me in the House a lawyer, a legal practitioner, and a very well-known public affairs analyst around town. His name is Barrister Kasme Igwe. No.
Thank you for having me.
All
Good
right.
afternoon, viewers.
All right. Now, quickly, because we don't have so much time. Now, we have got into this pass. Now, does it... the case that is being built against the governor and the deputy governor, from the point of view of a lawyer, is it sustainable?
Well, thank you for that question. The issue of whether it's sustainable or not, one is subjective, and it depends on those who are fanning the embers of war. You don't know what they have in their arsenal. But for me, I would rather think that is a sign of desperation. Oh. I don't think it's healthy at this point. And if it's a strategy, I think it's a poor one. Why do I say so? If there's a verdict coming from Supreme Court to which the executive governor of Rivers State has indicated his interest and the intention to fully comply with. Mind you, it's a declaratory judgment. He has taken steps, whether by virtue of playing a fast one or playing to the gallery, or he actually has the intention in complying. You give him room. You cannot frustrate the compliance to that court judgment, and you are throwing up impeachment at this point. It shows that it's premeditated and it's marks of desperation. I don't think it's head, I don't think it's good. Now, all they are doing is to give His Excellency a platform to fight back. It's a platform for him to set aside the Supreme Court judgment with respect to the political situation in Rivers State. Again, you are joining...
So you're looking at a situation where the Supreme Court will reverse itself?
No, not Supreme Court reversing itself, but quite unfortunately, this may lead to a situation where the Supreme Court's judgment may not be complied with. Now, what is the compliance?
Go and present
represent the budget to these people. They must create a platform.
Yeah, but the argument from the House of Assembly would be that they gave an ultimatum of 48 hours,
now,
which was not complied with.
Now, you don't give an ultimatum of 48 hours. This is the chief executive of the state. He has other state functions. And Supreme Court didn't set timeline for that to happen. Question is it within their power or mandate to give the state governor ultimatum? Now, even at that, he responded. Say he's waiting for the certified true copies, which is his right. It's within his right to look at that and now know how to comply so that he doesn't also make mistakes. And if the thing has come, he has communicated his intention to come and present. What happened? So it's not enough. It is not enough. You don't give ultimatum. It's an embarrassment to the entire Rivers as a state that the #1 citizen, the chief security officer of the state, is being treated in that manner, irrespective of your political differences. There should be some regard and respect for that office. For tomorrow. I'm glad His Excellency Nyesom just left that place. Sim Fubra will also leave. Somebody else will be there. So let's learn how to respect institutions. You can never have two captains in one boat. For now, it's Sim Fubra, even though you people are fighting. Make sure you fight within the ambit of the law, and two, not give your opponent the room not to do the right thing. At this point, I just pity what they are turning the Supreme Court judgment to. Yes, because they are frustrating it. That's what it is.
So who's frustrating it? Because one of the things, if I recall correctly, one of the things that has been listed against Fubra is that is blocking the presentation of the budget.
Okay, good.
I think I read that. Yes.
Okay, good. If that should be taken for what it is, it's not enough to allege.
Okay, they must prove.
They must prove. Now, the question is, what happened to the day he went to the legislative quarters where they sit for that presentation? What happened? Has any one of them to come out to tell Nigerians that, or Rivers people, that no, that never happened, it was AI generated? Where he went, was it where they were sitting? How come there was nobody at the gate to receive them? Thankfully, they said he just gave them the notice the other day and all of that, they saw it on this. He has written them again.
A second time.
Right? Yeah. And now the next thing we heard was that they've proceeded on recess, indefinite recess. Yes. All of a sudden, you are coming up again with impeachment. When the time the governor communicated that he's coming is yet to come.
All right, so as it is, it looks as if there's a well-rehearsed program to just ensure that, like you're saying, that the Supreme Court order is not complied with, and to also put the governor in some shackle.
Yes, but the truth is that as it stands, they provide the governor a platform not to fully comply.
So what if he does not comply because we're getting into a stalemate again.
Let me tell you.
If it does not comply and these people hold to their guns, what happens?
He who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Yes.
You must have to provide the enabling environment for him to comply. That's point number one. Point number two is that these are a new set of issues coming up. The issue of impeachment and all of this, they are new sets. So they might head back to the courts.
Okay, in the process of trying to tackle these new issues, they will need to touch
there will be new infractions and all of those things that may take them back to court.
All right, now, in all of this, is there a way out? Is it possible to stave off this entire impeachment process for something else that will move the state forward?
Now, if I were one of the advisors, I would have told them not to have embarked on this journey in the first place. If there's a judgment that has tried to harmonize the issues and make sure there is peace in the states, rightly or wrongly, now it's coming from Supreme Court, so they don't even have any option. All they needed to do, even if they didn't intend or mean it, first and foremost, play to the gallery now, create room, right? Let's see if anything can happen, because their problem has been coming together to discuss their issues. And that is what I think the Supreme Court judgment tried to provide for them. But look at the way it's being treated. Bible said, can two work together except they agree? There must be agreement. And if, for me, the agreement and the center of the whole thing should have been the Rivers people. So what do? Sheath your sword. You sheath your sword. Let's come together. How do we make progress? You don't come to a negotiating table setting conditions precedent, especially where the person you are negotiating with happens to be your master and the leader.
No, but there's no master-servant relationship here.
See, let's not.
These are three.
No, sir. Even though these are three arms of government, somebody is the leader, and that is the governor. In Nigeria today, Mr. President is the leader. He's not sharing that office with the Senate President nor the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Yes, but even then, there are things he cannot do of his own accord.
No. You see, those are different issues. For
he cannot issue orders, for example, to the Senate to carry out his desires.
No, you see,
to that extent,
that is where we are getting it wrong. As it stands today, there's a crisis.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the thing has traveled up to Supreme Court. There's a judgment.
Yes.
So that judgment forms the foundation, the fulcrum of whatever discussion that's therein going forward, and has stipulated what should be done by both parties. And this party, who knows that there's no other place he's appealing to, has said, okay, I will comply fully with this. But that compliance is not independent of you providing the platform. Number one, he wants to present the budget. You must provide him with the platform. He can't take it. He didn't summon them. He went to them. And there's a procedure for those things to happen. The only thing is that blockade, that limitation, that acrimony is still there.
Yeah.
They've not, put it behind them. So, but for the sake of the nation, for the sake of the state, for the sake of our laws and the judgment handed down by Supreme Court, at least that respect should have been there for the judiciary. Or you think they are not watching, they are not seeing what is happening? So if they know that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands, you must have been seen to have done your part, and let it be that the other party is not doing his part. You can't frustrate it and turn around to blame the party. It doesn't work that way. So I'm not sure they realize it's a declaratory judgment.
Okay, now let me ask you, Barrister. Now, as it is, this line of action of the House of Assembly, do you see it being sustainable?
You see, for me, it's rather going to worsen the situation. Now, the political tension has been heightened.
Yes.
Because the other party will also want to defend their position. Nobody will sit and see a hurricane coming towards him and still stands. No. He will want to also save his office. And mind, he also has some powers that are donated to his office. He also put them, he also activate them. So at the end of the day, this is going to be an e-wind that will not blow anyone any goods. At the end of the day, they may be the ones to be consumed. And even if you succeed in impeaching him, he has the courts, he has that option. Because the court will have to look at the allegations.
Now, see, where does this leave the average Rivers man?
Which is why he said that if they were sincere, if they are not consumed by their desperation or political interests, they would have known that all of this should have taken into consideration the welfare of Rivers citizens.
Because you see, the very reason why the judgment was given by the Supreme Court, we're still going round in circles. There's no progress from that point. We're still where, as it were, we're still where we were before the judgment.
Well, you see, I wouldn't want to sit down here to make any comments on that judgment. But if this is where it has placed us, well, I'm sure even the blind can see at this point. It should have brought some level of finality to the issues. You should have been able to, you know, sustain whatever that was desired for that judgment. Judgments do not create more confusion. Right?
Particularly when they come from the apex court.
Shouldn't, yes, because this is a court of policy. So whatever happened now has formed a precedent. It's a court of policy, not just court of law at that point. Where you have lacuna or gap in the laws or in the operation or implementation of the laws, Supreme Court comes out to take a position and it becomes law from that point. Incidentally, River State and their government has been forming, when it comes to governance and electoral laws, have always been setting precedents. Good enough. Some of them, after some years, will be set aside, or laws will be amended to correct whatever. So there must be something in River State.
All right.
Yeah, there must be something. So I think it's high time they actually look at it and make sure that the entire polity is not distorted.
All right. Just before we go, and we need to do this in like 30 seconds, speak to the parties. What, I mean, you have the ear of the camp of Wike, because clearly there's a camp that is loyal to Wike, and there's a camp that is of the Fubara, because that's, I mean, the state is being held by the juggler as it is. How do we free the state?
Well, I think the best way we can free the state is to play back former Governor Wike's videos.
Okay.
Talking about relationship of a predecessor and the successor. He has provided what that relation, he has defined what that relationship should be. So they should play back to him and let him try to implement it. It doesn't matter that the person you have promoted has decided to look elsewhere. Fine, let him run his administration. You wait for me if you still have the capacity. So this issue of dragging structure, right? Who is the governor today? You've had your 8 years. Let him try his own and fail or succeed. You cannot insist because you are the one that bought them tickets, because you are the one that put him there, and you think he has betrayed you for whatever purpose. If the purpose is for Rivers people, we won't be where we are. For me, it's showing that the purpose is for them.
Personal.
Okay, so I don't think it's necessary. There is only one executive governor of the state who he has said that has the power to make and unmake. He said that himself. And that such a person should be allowed to run his administration, that he will never interfere. They should play back to him. And then let him begin to implement such. Incidentally, what is happening now happened between him and Amechi. And he stood his ground. All of us watched and supported him at that point. Why is he turning around to do the same thing? If for nothing, for the sake of Rivers people, as you are the godfather of Rivers, no problem. Just let it be. Then re-strategize and not go to war with somebody who has the mandate of the state, irrespective of how he was thrown up. By then it was a party matter, it was a camp matter. Now, this is governance. It's for the entire state and the nation.
It's grown beyond the party and the individual now.
Yes.
All right. That's where this is of the program for today. We've really had time constraints one way or the other. I do hope that something close to this we can have very soon again, so we can talk about these same issues because they are still very hot. And at this point, I must say thank you for coming on the show, even at short notice. Thank you so very much. It's been Barrister Kasmir Igwe, the leading partner, senior partner, Igwe and Igwe attorneys. Is based in Abuja here. And I must say thank you to the production team. Thank you to Nigerians and whoever has been watching. Thank you so very much for your loyalty to our station. At this point, my name is Dayo, and we got to